Hi friends, my video cut off. I realized it had cut off probably like 2 minutes before I finished. So this is part two. I'm outside uh, today. Thought I'd just finish it up in a different environment. So to finish off where I left off. So I was googling. So first I had Googled the Coke Zero in the library, and I found the familiar images of Coke Zero. Um, then I went on to Google Coca-Cola Zero, and I saw those logos and images, which were not familiar to me. And as I stated in the previous section, and at that point I thought I should really save these logos just in case. And so I saved the Coca-Cola logo images, and then I went back to re-Google the Coke Zero, and this is where it got interesting, because now, instead of bringing up the Coke Zero logos that I had just seen like a minute before, okay, all of a sudden, all I'm getting is Coca-Cola logos, the Coca-Cola Zero logos and images. I tried again, tried another time, tried a different search engine. Nothing, nothing. And I couldn't quite, I couldn't quite believe what may have just happened. I was like kind of in disbelief. Like, I couldn't have just like had this thing flip like live in front of me. I've had some friends that this has happened to in with different kinds of objects and different situations, but it has not happened to me before. So I was in disbelief. So I messaged a couple of friends and I said, "Can you guys check out Coke Zero, because I'm having trouble finding any logos of the can or the bottles. Could you guys track down its history, see if it was just discontinued at a certain point, yada yada." I told them, I would go across the street to my grocery store, to my supermarket where I usually, shop, and I'll look on the shelf, because literally the day before, I remember seeing the Coke Zero um, cans and bottles, or one of them, the can or the bottle, along the aisles that in the fridge section where I get my soda bottles. Sorry, where I get my drinks. I don't buy soda. Um, so so I go in there, and I go to that section, and I see that all I see is Coca-Cola Zero. I see it in the small bottle form, and then I go to the big bottle section, and that's all I see. No signs of the Coke Zero. So then I decide to talk to one of the workers there, one of the shelvers, and I ask him, "Are you familiar with Coke Zero?" He looked at me a little strangely, and he was like, "Yes." And I asked him, "Can you tell me what it would look like if you were looking at it? Like, what would it spell out?" Like, again, he looked at me strangely, but then he went ahead and explained, "Yeah, I would be COKE zero." And and then I said, "Yeah, I that's how I remember it to be." And then I asked him, "Are you familiar with Coca-Cola Zero?" And he again looked a little strangely at me and said no. And I said, yeah, I haven't either, actually, but I now notice that that is all that you guys have on the shelves. And and so I took him over to the shelf and showed him. At that point, he seemed a little just generally weirded out, and and I just thought I'd leave him alone after that, So I just thanked him. Um, then I went over to one of the managers, and I asked them the same question about Coke Zero. I said, I have a marketing product question, I said to him. What are your products? Coke Zero, you're familiar with that? And he was, oh, yeah. Can you tell me what that, how that's spelled, what you would see on the can or the bottle? He looked at me a little strangely, but he answered the question. Yes, COKE zero. And so, okay, yeah, that's how I remember it too. And then I asked him, and are you aware of the Coca-Cola Zero logo? Um, and he looked at me a little oddly. I was like, no. I said, oh, because I noticed that your store only has that right now. I took him over to the shelf again and showed him. And he looked a little puzzled, but um, his response to that situation was, oh, they must have they must have not been happy with the marketing with the previous logo, and they just switched it. And I said to him, like, oh yeah, probably, but I, I thought I saw Coke Zero here just yesterday. Uh, do you know what might have happened? And he was like, no, we just might have changed it or whatever, yada yada. At that point, I figured I'd just drop it, and thanked him, and then left the store. Um, After that, I got my confirmations. That's really what I wanted, just to get some confirmation that yes, like I remembered it correctly. We all remember it the same way. Um, and then I went on to share this same question with several friends in the local area to where I live, and then I shared it with some family and other friends, like through Facebook. And I'd say like 19 out of 20. That's more or less the ratio that I've been noticing. Like 18 or almost 19 out of 20 people that I've asked so far, they they remember the Coke Zero. And they might be a little familiar with Coca-Cola Zero, but actually a lot of them weren't familiar with Coca-Cola Zero at all. So, so, so my mind was blown. Really, like for the whole day, like my mind was blown. This wasn't the first Mandela effect that I've noticed. Like I mentioned, how I've been researching these for the past like couple of months. So, but I'd never had one that directly flipped like in front of me. That's the novelty here. That was the mind-blowing factor. In later videos, I'll go into more details about my journey with the Mandela effect and what were the really big ones that got me, early on, or how, like that whole impact process. I mean, Bragg's was a big one for me. Depends was a big one. Later it was noticing the Americas and the entirely new alignments between North America and South America. I can go on. Those were the big ones, and but I'll leave that for other videos. That's basically it. Now, what I want to mention also, and I was finishing up with this before I got cut off. It's not that the Coke Zero logo itself doesn't exist. It does exist. If I'm going to put a PDF document from Coca-Cola, if I can, onto the video, in the video description section. I'm kind of new to this making videos, by the way, so I'm just learning as I go. But if I can put that PDF, I will, and it shows you the marketing campaign for Coca-Cola Zero, and they do have a Coke Zero logo. However, it has never been used as the front face of the soda, either on a bottle or a can. It has only ever been used as a secondary logo in a tiny form above the ingredients section on the back of the main Coca-Cola Zero face, bottle or can. So, just to clarify that point. And again, I challenge anybody to try to track down an actual can or bottle of Coke Zero, the original version, as I remember it, and as I drew it. And I think this is a big one. I think this will hit more people than any of the other ones that I've looked at so far. I think this represents, I don't know, like a more recent collective like shift. And so, yeah, I would say, go ask your family, your friends. This could be a great opener to the whole phenomena. So, okay, so that's enough for now. And I'll have more videos coming. So, thank you for watching. And feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you think, your experience. Okay, take care, guys. Have a good one. Stay grounded, okay? And remember to laugh at these things, okay? For me, I think this is supposed to take us out of our head and into our hearts, into that childlike place of wonder and awe, and reconnect us with that awe. I'm also, by the way, I will make a follow-up video where I get into my stream of consciousness interpretations on why Coke Zero, because the symbols in Coke Zero are really fascinating to me personally. So I will delve into that in the next one. Yeah, that'll just be fun. So, okay guys, take care.